Hey, what's up, you guys? WWE Fan 0599 here again, and welcome back to WWE Fans TV Recap Show. And today's recap show will be for Ash versus Evil Dead. This week's episode of Ash versus Evil Dead is entitled Burjo. I think that's how you say it. I mean, I'm sorry if they ever have like episode titles like these. I know the first time with El Jefe, it was called El Jefe. I looked like a complete idiot when I said that. So just bear with me if I ever have to pronounce titles like these. So yeah. But of course, before we get into this episode, if you haven't seen the episode, please do not watch this review. It will contain spoilers. But if you have seen the episode, or if you just don't care about spoilers, continue on watching. So let's get into this week's episode of Ash vs. Evil Dead. So what this episode is basically about, it's about, Ash, Kelly, and Pablo have to go to Pablo's uncle, to figure out what's going on and everything, just for help and everything, basically. And Pablo's uncle puts Ash in like this weird type, visionary type of visual dream. So yeah. So what did I think of this week's episode? Another great episode, honestly. This episode was absolutely awesome. I loved this episode. I thought, honestly, it was a great episode. Definitely had loads of fun watching this episode. So, yeah. So, let's get into my positives. And my positives are the acting in the episode. Everybody was really good in this episode. Of course, my boy Bruce Campbell as Ash. He's great. I love Bruce Campbell as Ash. He did such a great job in this episode. I really enjoyed him. He was really good in this episode. Like I said, I really enjoyed him. He did a really good job in this episode. The guy who plays Pablo, he was great as well. I really enjoyed him. Pablo's becoming, I don't know, for some reason, I don't know why, but I'm starting to, it's like, sometimes I like him more than Ash. I don't know why. It's just Pablo is just so awesome. He just is so awesome. I love Pablo. He's just so awesome. I don't know why. It's just he's so awesome. And I think he's just really cool, and he was great in this episode, honestly. The woman that plays Kelly, she's great as well. I enjoyed her. The guy who plays Pablo's uncle was actually pretty good. He really was, Just, he did a really good job as well. Just, yeah, the acting overall was really enjoyable in this episode, so yeah. The comedy, there was some comedy still in this episode, especially. There's one part that I'm not kidding, I rewind it because of how funny it was, and we'll get into that when we talk about the moments, but it was just so funny, this episode. The comedy did work. The action was good for when it was needed. The writing was good as well. I thought the writing was really good. And the directing was really nice with this episode as well. I really liked the directing with this episode, so yeah. Now let's talk about some of the moments that happened in this episode, and first, let's talk about, where the episode literally leaves off of. I've never really seen a show do this, where they literally leave off where it left off, I haven't seen a show do that, really, from my perspective. I've never seen a show where it literally takes place right after that episode ended. So, last week's episode, how that ended is that the cop was trapped with the guy who knew about the demons and stuff because he got possessed. So, literally, that's how the episode starts. We're back there, with the police officer, in the book place. And, of course, Lucy Lawless comes in and beats up the possessed dude and chops off his head and crushes it. So, and Lucy Lawless is like, you're probably going to need my help to catch Ash. So, that's really what they're going to do with each other, so yeah. Then let's go when Kelly, Ash and Pablo, when they're driving, they're being chased up by, this dust type, this dust cloud, I guess you can say. And basically they have to drive away from it, and they take, a nitrogen thing, to make it go faster. just a really cool scene, really cool, kind of a chase, really, just really enjoyed that. That was a really cool, chase. So yeah. Then when we meet Pablo's uncle, okay, it was really good because Ash was making jokes to him, and basically Pablo's uncle was not having it. He was like, dude, don't even, just don't even. So yeah, that was really cool, and Kelly's been acting a bit weird, you know, in this episode. She was acting like really, really weird, and the crew doesn't know why, but you'll see later on. But yeah, you know, he's got all these ancient stuff, like to keep away demons and stuff. So yeah, Pablo's uncle's a very interesting man. Then when we see, this is where the funny moment comes in, we see that, you know, Pablo's uncle wants to put Ash in, like, a visualized dream to try and find out the reasoning behind the demons and stuff, you know, and trying to take them down and reverse the spell. So, we see that, and the first thing when you see him going down, basically an acid trip. You see that going down. Oh my goodness. I could not stop laughing for like 10 minutes. I had to pause it and rewind it again just to see what I just saw and just how funny it was. I think I haven't seen a drug trip that funny in like a movie or a TV show in a very, very long time. That definitely, I put that like in the top 10 best. That was just too funny, honestly. That was really, really funny. And when we see, you know, Ash in the visualized dream, you know, his eyes are sewed in. He basically, you know, has to find his way, and you see that. And also he has a visualized dream because he always wanted to go to Jacksonville, Florida. Because that's where him and his girlfriend were supposed to go up until, you know, what happened in the original Evil Dead. And, you know, and his lizard starts talking. He imagines his lizard talking. That was pretty funny too. So yeah. Then when we see, you know, Kelly, you know, she's acting weird. She, you know, like I said, she's been acting weird. She passes out. We see that the demon that she captured in the third episode. Nope, he didn't go into the book. No, it decided to possess Kelly instead. You know. So we see that the demon from last week's episode actually possessed Kelly, you know, electrocuting Pablo. This was just a distraction so the demon, which has Kelly, can try and get to Ash and mess with his mind. And that's where we lead into the final moment where we see, you know, Ash trying to fight off the demon. And the funniest thing is that the lizard was giving him advice while doing this. So yeah, we see that. And, you know, the demon, you know, we basically see him fighting the demon and everything, you know, just pretty cool scene. Then he, like, you know, like the dolls from the first episode, you know, that little, like, doll, and, like, they try to attack him, but he just, like, crushes her head and her eyeball just comes out, so yeah. Then, you know, in the final moment of the episode, we see Ash, he's choking out Kelly, but, you know, of course, she has to pretend she's Kelly because it's really the demon, you know. And, of course, Pablo and his uncle get him off of her. And that's basically how the episode ends. So, yeah. My only negative is the abrupt ending. It was really, really abrupt. It was very an abrupt ending. I was like, really? It's over? Like, I literally, like, checked. I was like, it's already over? Like, it was very, very rushed and very abrupt, in my opinion, the way that the episode ended. You know, it just really was abruptly ended. And I thought, maybe we could have just had something else. I know it's a 30-minute show, but can we really have done something afterwards except just give us an abrupt ending? That's probably my only negative with the episode, so yeah. So overall, another great episode. I loved this episode. This was awesome. I loved this episode of Ash vs. Evil Dead. So yeah. So it's time for my official grade on this episode. And my official grade on this episode is an A. Another awesome episode. I loved it. So awesome. Can't wait for next week's episode. So yeah. So what you guys think of this week's episode? Leave it in the comment section below. And I'm WWE Fan 0599. And we'll see you about later. Peace.